Cloud City, a floating metropolis in the skies of Bespin. Despite its iconic status in The Empire Strikes Back, it's often overlooked in the LEGO universe. Today, we're changing that. Let's get into it. Today's mission is to construct a detailed, modular LEGO Cloud City MOC in 2 weeks. The design features 4 stacked sections, as you can see here in my very messy sketches. The first section is a lobby area. The second is Lando Calrissian's luxurious dining room and bar area. The third is his private office and bedroom suite. And the fourth is a landing platform complete with a custom cloud car. I want to challenge myself with this MOC and set 3 goals. The first is that I want this MOC to have play features. I never put play features in my MOC, but this is the perfect one to do so because it will be modular. This leads into my second goal. I want it to be modular. This will be a large MOC for me, so I want to be able to take it apart easily for moving it around and photographing. The third goal is to use forced perspective. So for the larger windows in this MOC, I will be adding smaller buildings outside of them so it looks like there's a larger city outside. All right, enough talking. Let's get to building. We start with a sturdy foundation using 16 by 16 plates reinforced with 2 by 4 bricks. I then added some plates to the bottom of the base for extra support. Adding 1 by 4 modified bricks with studs on the side allows for a sleek finish when I add 2 by 4 tiles on top of them. I plan on using this foundation design for every floor in this MOC so I can keep everything looking cohesive. Next, I got out some of these white 6 by 6 tiles to use for the floor design. I will be doing a white and light bluish gray checkered pattern. Inspired by mid-century modern architecture, the Cloud City lobby features a lot of smooth lines and neutral tones. I got a bunch of these trans clear headlight bricks a while back on a picket brick wall. I thought they would be perfect for building a fancy glass sculpture centerpiece that we see a lot of in Cloud City. And I think it turned out pretty well. I also created some little planters to surround the art piece with. I think they really enhance the welcoming atmosphere that the Empire will later abuse. I needed to finalize the size of these end cap walls, so I knew how tall to build all of the other walls. Once I figured out how tall all my walls would be, I needed to build the large window that would be on the left side of this section. Constructing the large window involved cleaning and repurposing these transparent panels, like removing some old stickers, like this Pepe Pizza sticker. Goodbye, Pepe's Pizza. You've been good to me. They're looking much better now. After finishing the window, I needed to move on to the textured wall design that is featured all throughout Cloud City. My walls incorporate tiles and rounded tiles to mimic Bespin's unique textures. The entrance door was built with tan modified and masonry bricks. The bricks added a lot of depth and texture to the room. I think the tan colors really pop as well. On the sides of the door, I alternated between some white masonry bricks and gray plates, in between some train railguard plates that fit over the bricks nicely. This bottom section is just about done. I plated off the top of it. However, I still need to add some tiles and leave a few studs so the next section will stick to it, because it again needs to be modular. I finished the greebled sections on the sides using a ton of different pieces. I added some lights, a little desk with a smaller lamp, some benches made with ingot pieces, and a trash can. For the most part, this section of the MOC is done. I still need to add all of the forced perspective details to the outside of the window, but I will do all of that at the end of the build process. I also decided at the last minute to use these large curved pieces to create large cylinders to add underneath this section. Cloud City features a lot of rounded shapes, and my MOC will mostly be large squares, so it adds some roundness to the MOC. Time to begin working on the second section of the MOC, which is the bar and dining room area. The base of this section came together very similarly to the bottom floor, same pieces and everything. The only difference was that I made it too small. I had initially planned for each section to be the same size, but I miscalculated when I built it. I actually liked how it was smaller, and after getting some design advice from my wife, I decided to make every section smaller as you get further up the MOC. I think it'll be a much cooler shape and will allow you to see into each room a lot easier, which is really important because there's going to be so many details in these spaces. Now that the flooring is done, I began working on the sides again, which gave me an idea about what size everything needs to be on this floor. Next, I added some of the different wall sections and furniture that I built off screen, such as shelves, cabinets, and the bar counter. For the play feature on this section, I decided to have a cabinet that spins to reveal some secret weapons in gear for Lando and his Bespin guards to access when the Empire arrives. I stacked these 6-tooth gears onto each other and put them on these Technic plates with the pins sticking up. They actually spin really well. I then made the shelf with studs and clips on the back where I can add the blasters and thermal detonators. I also added this goofy spin sign just for kicks. I'm really happy with how this all turned out, and it was honestly such a fun change of pace from what I usually build. Next, I worked on adding the staircase that will lead up to the 3rd floor. I also added some round windows and finished building up most of the walls. I made sure to leave some studs on the walls though, so I could add some funny pictures to them. Here is how everything is looking so far. I added a little bartender droid who is pouring up some drinks. The staircase is fully attached and the walls are almost all built up. I also added furniture like a small dresser and the large dining table with different bowls and cups and mugs, and I also finished tiling all of the floor. Let's jump into another time lapse to finish up floor number 2. Now that this section is 90% done, let's move on to floor number 3, which is Lando's bedroom and private office space. So I've got the base already built, and I made sure to leave a space open for the staircase so minifigures can climb up. This kind of technique is very similar to like modular Lego sets, where if there's a staircase, they make sure to leave a little opening in it for the minifigures. I also added a smaller staircase to this 3rd floor that will lead to Lando's raised bed. I think this will add a lot of depth to this section. Here is a rough idea for what the bed will look like. I left room for a large window that is actually the windscreen from the DeLorean Lego set. This window will also have some of that forced perspective design behind it, so Lando can look out at his city when he's sleeping. Actually, if he's sleeping, he's not looking out. When he wakes up in the morning, he can look out at his beautiful Cloud City. I then added some other furniture like cabinets, computers, more windows, other just random little details like this little Calrissian Crunch cereal box. For the play feature on this floor, I thought it would be cool to have a rotating closet for Lando. Lando really cares a lot about his appearance, so his outfits and his capes. I started off by using one of these Technic gearboxes and having a large Technic axle sticking out the top. I added some rounded plates and tiles to cover up some of the ugly parts on the bottom. I then added a large steering wheel piece to the top where I can hang Lando's clothes and add some hats to the bottom of it. It is actually such a seamless and straightforward play feature. I love it. It's so easy to make and customize, and again, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Okay, the last play feature I want to include in this MOC is adding a light feature behind the computer. The computer is built just using a clear window in a black frame with a sticker on it, so the lights should be able to shine through. Yes, the sticker is of Imperials, so I might Photoshop them to be blue in the final pictures so they look like Bespin guards. Or if I don't want to do that, you could think of it like the Empire has hacked their systems and are all like, hey Lando, we're here to take over your entire system. There's this guy Luke Skywalker with your old frenemy Han Solo, and we need to set this trap to capture them, blah 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 blah. Don't worry about it, but we're here to take over your entire planet. Thanks, bye.
This deal is getting worse all the time.
For the play feature, I need to remove a portion of this wall for the light bricks to fit. I then connected really long Technic axles underneath the bedding area to the light bricks, so when I press the back of the axles, they turn on the light bricks. It's another really simple technique, but also really effective and fun to play around with. Maybe I should have been an electrician.
Good one. Yep, that's a good one.
One of my goals for the play features in this MOC was to keep them simple enough where you could easily replicate them in your own MOCs. I decided to take a break from building the main part of the MOC and work on the custom cloud car that will be featured on the top of the MOC. I was really torn about whether to build it in orange or red. LEGO always does theirs in red for some reason, and it doesn't really seem right. I mean, it kind of works, but also kind of doesn't. It's too bad there aren't more pieces in that new reddish orange color, because that would be perfect. I was able to fit a few pieces of that new color on the ship, and I think it turned out looking pretty good. I do end up changing the top of the ship later on to make the cockpit area a bit taller. I ended up using a combo of orange, red, and reddish orange pieces. For the top of the MOC, I kept the main base structure the same as the rest. The top landing pad is probably my least favorite part of the entire MOC. It didn't turn out quite how I wanted. It's not terrible, but sometimes you just gotta finish a MOC and not think too hard about it. I ended up tiling off the entire thing with light and dark bluish gray tiles and added some small lights all around it. I did add a hexagonal pattern to it for the ship to land on, so I guess that's kind of interesting to look at and something different. Alright, the MOC is almost done. I decided to add larger greebled sections to the bottom of the MOC between the cylindrical sections. I kind of mostly just wanted to build more greeble stuff, and it actually made the MOC really come together, and I was really happy with this decision. Lastly, I finally added all of the miniature buildings outside of the windows using printed bricks and tiles. It added so much depth and character to the MOC. I think having the three goals of play features, force perspective, and modulars really challenged me to build things I never would have normally, and I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Speaking of modular, each section is, again, modular. It makes putting it together, moving it around, and photographing it so much easier. It's also really fun watching it all come together on camera. You can really see the scale of it next to me. It's a lot larger than it looks in the video. Now that the MOC is all done, I take pictures and edit them in Photoshop. I hope you enjoy. This project pushed my building skills and creativity to new heights, and I'm proud how it turned out, and I want to thank everyone who's been following along. I've got a lot of exciting projects in the works, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss what's coming next. I will be working on my Rogue One build series next, which will be very similar to my Andor series, so I may not be releasing as many videos these next couple months as I work on that, but it should be worth the wait. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Keep building and stay creative, and I'll see you soon.